From the CyberHub bunker and studio, you're tuning in to the CyberHub Podcast. And now for your host and CISO, James Azar.
Hey everyone, happy Monday, good morning. Welcome to another episode of the CyberHub Podcast Practitioner Brief. I hope you're ready for a very packed show today. A lot going on since we broadcast on Thursday to today. So we're going to try to get that all here in under 10 minutes for all of y'all on this Monday morning. So stay tuned, buckle up your seatbelts, grab your cup of coffee because I don't have mine, and let's get this show going. I'm pre-recording these, obviously. I'm going to be traveling for the next several weeks, and so as such, I'm a bit restricted with what I can and can't get my hands on. So let's get the ball rolling. Your cup of coffee cup cheers. And let's start with this Bitbucket critical vulnerability and the patch. So Bitbucket, part of GitHub and GitLab, essentially running your IDE, your code repository, the whole nine. So Authy, or whatever they want to call themselves, have issued an urgent advisory to warn of a critical command injection flaw in the Bitbucket server and data center product. The vulnerability carries a CVSS score of 9.9 out of 10 and can be exploited remotely to launch code execution attacks. The security defect track to CVE 2022-36804 was introduced in version 7.0.0 of Bitbucket Server and Data Center. The alert itself states that all versions released after 6.10.17, including 7.0.0 and newer, are affected. This means that all instances that are running any versions between 7.0.0 and 8.3.0 inclusive can be exploited for this vulnerability. They're saying that Authy cloud sites are not affected by this issue. The disclosure itself follows the documentation of in the wild attack hitting the company and the Confluence products. So you want to make sure you get that updated. Twilio can't seem to catch a break. Neither can many of their customers. So it's been about a month and a half, I think, since the Twilio first disclosed their breach, and now we're finding out more and more victims. We've got several on today's show to talk about. Twilio, who fell for a sophisticated phishing attack, disclosed that threat actors also managed to gain access to the accounts of 93 individual users of its Authy two-factor authentication service. Authy, which was acquired by Twilio in February of 2015, allows safeguarding online account with two-factor authentication. As my buddy Roger Grimes would say, MFA stopping 99.9% of cyber attacks just is not true. And we obviously now see threat actors going after MFA products. So Klaviyo, MailChimp, Cloudflare were all part of the victims. There's several more, DigitalOcean, Signal, and Okta all as well in the supply chain attack. Okta, for its part, confirmed that the credential theft had a ripple effect, resulting in unauthorized access of a small number of mobile phones and associated SMS messages containing OTPs through Twilio's administrative council. Stating that the OTPs had a 5-minute validity period, Okta said the incident involved the attacker directly searching for 38 unique phone numbers on the council, nearly all of them belonging to one entity, with the goal of expanding their access. Also with Twilio, we see the same thing. Their IM reiterated that it's aware of several cases where the attacker sent out a blast SMS message targeting employees and their family members. And let's get into DoorDash, who've also disclosed the data breach because of Twilio. So DoorDash on Thursday said that their customers and employee data had been exposed as a result of a recent breach at a third-party vendor. DoorDash said that the attackers abused a third-party vendor access to its system. The attackers abused DoorDash's internal tools and gained access to information of a small percentage of individuals. In the case of consumers, that compromised information includes names, emails, delivery addresses, and phone numbers. In some cases, partial payment information card, maybe card type in the last four, and basic order information was also exposed. So your fetish for sushi and is now been declared on the dark web. Be mindful of that. Based on our investigation to date, the information accessed by the unauthorized party did not include passwords, full payment card information, bank account information, social security, or social insurance numbers, according to DoorDash. Again, this is part of the Twilio breach, and Twilio can't catch a break here since this story has started. And 163 customers impacted. I bet you that number of those leaving Twilio is going to be significant. because if you're looking at this, you're wondering. LastPass's developer system was hacked to steal some source code. So this was a big story over the weekend. LastPass, kind of the vault to all things people use. Trust, it kind of goes to the concept of trust but verify. Do you really do that? I've seen people say, I never use password managers. I still have a notebook, and to each its own. Very happy for everyone. But nonetheless, the dev environment here. So LastPass released a security advisory confirming that it was breached through a compromised developer account that threat actors used to access the company's developer environment. While LastPass says there's no evidence that any customer data or encrypted password vaults were compromised, the threat actor did steal a portion of their source code and proprietary LastPass technical information. In response to the incident, they've developed containment and mitigation measures, engaged a leading security firm to deal with this. LastPass is one of the largest password management companies in the world. They have about 33 million people and 100,000 businesses as part of their customer base. This story is still developing, not much there. Iranian hackers have been exploiting unpatched Log4j bugs to target two Israeli organizations. Iran is, again, using the Log4j patch there and vulnerability to go after some Israeli organization. Microsoft attributed this to muddy water, an Iranian intelligence apparatus. The attack are also notable for using the sysaid server instances unsecured against the Log4 shell flaw as a vector for initial access, marking a departure from the actor's patterns of leveraging VMware applications for breaching target environments. After gaining access, Mercury established persistence, dumped credentials, and moved laterally within the target organization using both custom and well-known hacking tools as well as built-in operating systems for its hand-on keyboard attack. The tech giant said it observed the attacks between July 23rd and 25th of this year. Successful compromise is said to have been followed by the deployment of web shells to execute commands that permit the actor to conduct reconnaissance, establish persistence, steal credentials, and facilitate lateral movement. There's no report over what Israeli organizations were targeted by this. We'll hopefully get some more. Finally, Russia launches a massive cyber attack against the small country of Montenegro. The Agency for National Security, or ANB, said Montenegro is under a hybrid war at the moment. Montenegro, a small country on the Adriatic Sea, very, very beautiful. Once considered a strong Russian ally with a lot of Russian influence and a lot of Russian money there, by the way. In 2017, joined NATO despite strong opposition from Moscow. It has also joined Western sanctions against Russia for its invasion of the Ukraine. In addition, Russia has added Montenegro to its list of enemy states. According to Kremlin, the Montenegrin government earlier this week reported first in a series of cyber attacks on its servers, but said it managed to prevent any damage. However, the Russians have been persistent. Coordinated Russian services are behind the cyber attack, according to the ANB. This kind of attack was carried out for the first time in Montenegro and has been prepared for a long period of time. Dusan Polovic, a government official, said, I can say with certainty that this attack that Montenegro is experiencing these days is coming directly from Russia. The U.S. Embassy in Montenegro has warned its citizens in the Balkan state to be aware of persistence and ongoing cyber attacks that are in process. So apparently that's now another thing. So, folks, that's it for the show today. We'll be back with a whole lot more tomorrow. Until then, have a great rest of your day. And most importantly, enjoy this week and stay cyber safe.
We love feedback, so make sure to connect with us on social media and subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform.